Hi, Jensen. Welcome, Vix. Oh, thanks, Vix. Yeah, I'm at 16,000 subscribers now, which I'm very happy about. So I'll just wait until some more people get in, and I have an article that I want to talk about that that kind of shook me just a little bit. So we'll wait till we get some more people in here. For now, I'll just answer whatever questions you guys have. Yes, Jensen, I'm doing good today. I'm doing good. Hope your day is going well. Jazzman, welcome to the stream. Let's see here. All right, guys. So I'm going to bring up an article to start this live stream. So let me go over here. Let's see. Display cap. Where is it? Yes, take the webcam, minimize that down here. All right, I'm going to drag this. Yeah, I think it's better if I put myself over there in the corner. So, there's a music store that I would go to all the time, and it was called Sam Ash, and now that store is starting to close down. So it says here, okay, why don't I fix the camera here? I think that's better. So yeah, this comes from guitarworld.com. They are closing 18 branches. So it says here, Sam Ash Music is reportedly set to close its famed flagship New York store as part of 18 branch closures. The announcement sees the 100-year-old firm reacting to the increasing difficulty of running physical stores in the digital age. The Manhattan branch, which is one of the U.S.'s most popular music equipment stores, is reportedly one of a raft of store closures. In total, 18 stores are reported to be closing, with Clearwater and Hollywood also among the branches set to shut their doors. For the last 100 years, Sam Ash has successfully adapted to meet the challenge of changing business conditions. He said in a statement, as we look towards the next 100 years, the company must continue to adapt to ensure its continued success. Sam Ash Music remains committed to keeping a strong physical store footprint in the future while we continue growing our successful online sales offerings. As part of this restructuring, the company is closing several stores nationwide. This restructuring is emotionally tough, but we are confident these moves will make Sam Ash stronger as we continue serving the music community into the future as we have for the past 100 years. Guitar World has contacted Sam Ash for comment. So, Sam Ash, this is a sign of the times because Sam Ash is a store where I got my very first really good amp from. Like, if you go way back to my earlier videos, you'll get to see me with a Marshall. I had a Marshall DSL 40, and that amp was great. That's the amp that I actually used when I was with Excessive Pleasure back in 2019. If you've seen the footage of me playing with that band, you'll see that amp. So Sam Ash holds a special place for me because I always liked their selection. Every time I went there, the staff was very friendly. Everyone was nice. They always had a great environment over there. And I don't know if the Houston location is closing down, but I noticed the last couple of times I went to it, it kept shutting its doors. But I noticed the inventory was getting less and less, so I don't know if they closed that one down or if they are still open. I'm not too sure. But, it's just a sign of the times. But first of all, how amazing is it that Sam Ash has been open since 1924? Like, that is incredible. They've been around for 100 years now. Let me see here. Oh, okay, I did do it correctly. Fit to screen. There we go. All right. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. So, you guys have any thoughts? Of course, as soon as I'm live streaming, I start getting calls. It's so funny. Eric is trolling right now in the chat. He is the guitar player in my band. But yes, we have a show on April 13th. So if anyone is interested in that, you can come see us there. So let's see here. Yeah, Blake says Sam Ash was my favorite music store. Sad to see it go. Yeah, well, they're not going away completely. It's just they're closing 18 of their stores, but that does feel like a pretty big chunk of it. But it's still sad to see the sign of the times changing, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. And that Marshall DSL 40 I had was an incredible amp. I still wish I had it, but it's another sign of the times because that amp was huge. It was 80 pounds, which for me, I know a lot of these people in the fucking comments of that one video that I will not mention by name will say, yeah, you get like 50 pounds, whatever. Well, it sucks if you had to carry that around every single fucking week. And I remember one time I even dropped that amp because it's a tube amp, and tube amps they get that great big sound. Best way I can describe tube amps for those of you who are not guitar players are a tube amp is what people used in stadiums and arenas from the 60s through the 80s up until 2000s, and now there's a lot of people that are using like these digital amp modelers, and I was so impressed with the Line 6 HX Stomp that I actually use that. If you saw my most recent video where I was using, if you saw that one where my Paul McCartney video that I just made, please go watch that if you haven't when the stream is done. But in that video, I used that HX Stomp, which is great. But, you know, there's still people out there who still want to bring their amps with them. But me as a bass player, it feels like people using bass amps are far less common these days. And they're about using a lot of them now use digital modelers or DI boxes. So what you do with them is they're pretty much almost the size of this interface and like that, and they could fit in your gig bag or your case, and you just plug an XLR cable at the end and, you know, give that to the sound man. So a lot, I know for sure, bass players are going with more digital than guitar players are these days. But yeah, it's a lot. It's you know, changing times. The gaming pair says, "Hello, was just watching your video to think before you sleep video. Found it really interesting. Thanks, appreciate that." Blake Skelly says, "Yeah, very unfortunate. They have a big legacy to leave behind." Emily says, "Yeah, I think it's sad. Physical spaces are closing." Megament says, "The loss of both Toys R Us and Sam Ash sinks my battleship." Well, I have the perfect video to look for when it comes to that. I don't know if it's still here, but there was a video of, let's see, I don't even remember what his name was. I think it was Jeffrey the giraffe. Now, okay. Okay, yeah, I'm not able to find it. But he was yeah, Jeffrey the giraffe was the Toys R Us mascot, and I remember there was a meme of him, of the guy in the costume with a Hawaiian shirt holding two suitcases, so he was ready to go. Emily says, "I'm buying physical music now because of all the streaming." Yep, I get it, because that's the thing is, there's streaming will, you know, streaming is still going to be the most popular way to listen to music, but you can always, but it's so crazy to me how vinyl records have become popular again. And I'm thankful I still have some of my dad's vinyl records, and I have his record player from the 80s. And I don't have the space now, but eventually, when I have the money and my credit improves and I can move to a bigger space, I would love to be able to use it and listen to records, because there's something very special about vinyl records as a person who didn't grow up with them, because I still grew up with cassette. So I was born in 94, so I was still used to seeing cassette tapes and CDs. And I remember when DVDs were the hot new thing. And then, of course, the internet took over everything. I think that's the thing that's really different about growing up in the, I guess you would say, the mid 90s, is I felt like, if you're similar to my age, we were the last generation to really see all of that stuff, to see physical media still dominate. And then we got to slowly and gradually see like iTunes and the iPod take over, and then streaming now, and then after that, you know, I saw DVDs, then Blu-rays, and of course I still remember the VHS tapes. So yeah, Though that's what I remember. Blake says I bought a Fender amp from Sam Ash when I was 13 and had it for 10 years. It finally broke on me the other day, so it's sad to see it go. Damn. That sucks when you see stuff from your childhood go away like that, because my very first amp was a PV Audition, which was a very tiny, like, what it had an 8-inch speaker, and it was awful. But, it's your first amp. Theo says your last video on McCartney was good, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, I worked so hard on that video because that was my first time trying to have production value in my videos. And I remember I was using DaVinci Resolve at first to start editing that video, and then it kept messing up every time. I rendered that video 2 times on Resolve, and then half the video was missing. Like, it would start in the middle of the timeline, and then other clips would be playing during the parts of me talking, and it was driving me insane. So instead, I just caved in and got a 7-day free trial of Adobe Premiere just so I could finally get that video done, because it was ready to go on Saturday, but then I didn't get it actually done until I think it was on Monday, I believe, when I uploaded it. Oh, hi, Chastity. Yeah, says hope everyone is having a good day. Capacitor says, let's see. Emily says I have a Zenith. Wait, what was that? Yeah, I have a Zenith turntable from my dad, and I've been listening to vinyls with that. Yeah, I don't remember what the brand of my turntable is. It's in here somewhere. I have to go looking for it. But, oh yeah, it was a Fisher. Fisher was an audio brand from the 80s. Because the big difference is, if you are into collecting vinyl records, the number one thing I can tell you immediately is you have to stay the hell away from those Crosley turntables, like the ones that are made out of cheap plastic, where they have a very cheap needle. Those can do damage to your records. So, like, get something that's good quality first. Like, I know I'm pretty sure that they still make them, but I think the Audio Technica LP60, that is a really good turntable. I remember getting one of those, and I hate that I had to sell it, but it is what it is. Rafterman says, if you have a Mac, is there a way to get Final Cut Pro for free? I don't know. I don't have a Mac. I just use Windows. Emily says, what rock bands do you like the most? I'm open to all music. Well, for me, my favorite let's see. Well, anyway, my favorite bands, well, this will always be my top 5, because these bands in this order had the most impact on my life. But I would say number 1 will always be the Beatles, number 2 Van Halen, 3 Guns N' Roses, 4 Red Hot Chili Peppers, 5 the Foo Fighters. That's my top 5. But then after that, if I just talk off the top of my head, Paramore, they are for sure my favorite modern band. Who else? Of course, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith. The band Extreme is really good because they're lots of people think of them as a one-hit wonder, which is so horrible because are such a great band. Like Nuno Betancourt is one of the greatest guitar players ever. You should check out their new album. Their new album, Extreme's new album, is called Six, like the number six, and they have a song on there called Rise. And like I believe Nuno Betancourt is like 58 or 59 years old, and the fact that he can still shred like a maniac, it's incredible to witness. And like Gary Sharon, his voice is still good after all these years because yeah, Extreme is known for that. They have an acoustic ballad called More Than Words, and it is fantastic. It's great, but I would call it a poor representative of what the actual band is, which they're a hard rock band. And fun fact, by the way, if you didn't know this, Alice in Chains opened for Extreme during their first album, which is funny because you would think it would be the other way around, but no, at that point, 1990, Extreme had their second album or their first album, were touring for it, and yeah, Alice in Chains just came out with their first album, Facelift. So yeah, that's a great band. I cannot recommend Extreme enough. They are incredible. And by the way, Gary Sharon, the singer from Extreme, he was the singer for Van Halen for one album. It was the album called Van Halen 3, but apparently they removed it from their discography because they don't want people to know about it, but that's when Van Halen was going through a rough time. But it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if Gary continued with them and they made like a couple more albums and toured for a few more years after that. Oh, whoops. There we go. See here. Beto says, do you like horror video games? I mean, I like some survival horror games. Like I've played The Evil Within, which was great, which that's from the same creator of Resident Evil. That game is great. I really enjoyed, I'm a Resident Evil fan. I liked Resident Evil 7, but I never got to finish 8, and I never even finished the remake of 4 yet, but that's because my PS5 is still in the pawn shop. Chastity's asking, no super chats today. I don't know if anyone is feeling generous enough. So, yeah, it's sad that Sam Ash is going through what they're going through, but it's just a sign of the times. Alien Isolation was a good game. Well, I mean, I'd never played it myself, but I remember it's so hard to believe that game came out almost 10 years ago now, because I remember that was 2014. That was like a big deal. Like the PS4 and Xbox One were brand new, or only a year old at that time, and it was. I remember people were hyped for that because that game was developed by Creative Assembly, who normally make the Total War RTS games. And so that was very different for them, but I'm looking forward to that. Or sorry, I just remember that, but I know there's also a new Alien movie coming out too. Shizzy says, Man in the Box live at the Moore Theater was legendary. Well, yeah, Man in the Box was the very first Alice in Chains song that I ever heard. It's all thanks to Rock Band. Yeah, I believe it was on the first Rock Band or the second game, but that was my introduction to Alice in Chains. That's why I still say, Guitar Hero and Rock Band were the two most important video game franchises in my life because it got me to love music, made me discover all my favorite rock bands that I grew up with listening to when I was a teenager, and it was great. Anyway, Cosmos says, "How tall are you?" 5'7". Uh, I'm I'm half Asian, so that's why I'm not. I'm going to use that as to why I'm not very tall. Welcome to the stream, Cosmic Clam. So, anyone have any other thoughts about Sam Ash closing down? Because that was one of my favorite stores to go to. I don't even know if the Houston location is still open. Let me double check here. Sam Ash, Houston. Oh, whoops. Sam Ash, Houston. Oh, they are open. Okay. Yeah, but I remember it was getting sad the last time I went to that location because when I went there, there they had like the fewest amount of instruments available that I've seen there. So yeah, I miss that. Emily says I've got to go, but I'm rooting for you all to watch that Paul McCartney video. Yes, thank you. It's so funny how the videos that take the most amount of effort, like that Paul McCartney video, no one cares about because it only has like what 200 something video views on there. But so guys, go watch that because that is the one video I worked hard on. Because it seems like the stuff that takes no effort at all, people flock to it, and yet the stuff I want people to watch, it's like it just gets ignored by the YouTube algorithm. I mean, it is what it is. Cosmic Clam says he saw the Paul McCartney video, pretty nicely edited. Oh, that reminds me. So I went to Guitar Center earlier today, and just to blow off some steam, and I got to play Paul's Hofner bass. Well, it wasn't like one of the made in Germany Hofner basses, but it was like an import model. I think it was made in Indonesia or somewhere like that. And I'll tell you, it feels really weird to play on because like Paul's Hofner violin bass. I'm sure everyone knows what it looks like if you know the Beatles, but I'll just pull up a photo of it. But let me see here. Yeah, that's what it looks like. This is, the bass that Paul McCartney made famous. See, I got to play like one of the newer ones, one of these that's getting made. But I found out here because when you take a look here, when you see how symmetrical the body is, that's why Paul chose to play that bass because it was very easy if he couldn't find a left-handed version of that, he could just still play it upside down, and it wouldn't look like you were playing it upside down unless like if you look at the knobs over here. But yeah, and that bass is fully hollow, so that means it would be very neck heavy, but it's also very light. But I just didn't really gel with it, to be honest. I'm more used to, I guess you would say, like the what you would call the more traditional basses, where they're just a solid body. But I guess I even like what you would call the modern shape basses, where they have a smaller body, so they're a lot more comfortable to play on. Because when I've got the money for it, the basses that I get along with the most are like the Music Man Stingray models, also as well as the, and I also really like the. Yeah, I'll show you guys some photos while we're here. Um, Let me see here. Oh yes, Rattlehead. Rattlehead. Guitars and basses sound different. Guitars and different basses can sound very different depending on the type of pickups, or like for example, this Hofner violin bass, very different from. Let's just use some examples here. This would be the Fender Precision bass, the most famous bass ever. We could get a wider shot of it. Like this is the most common. This is easily the most common. Okay, actually that's a different one, but uh, like the regular one with just one pickup. I wish we, yeah, just get a standard one, like right here. It looks like this. Uh, this was the very first bass guitar ever, because Leo Fender did this, and it's the gold standard for electric basses. And I believe it came out in 1951 at first, but then this design has been around since 1954. Oh, Chastity gave me a $10 super chat. She says, thanks for responding. I appreciate you. No problem. Because this has, yeah, because the P bass over here has a, like this pickup, they, people would call it the P style pickup or the precision style pickup. That would sound very different the compared to that Hofner. But then, there's other P basses like this one right here, where you can see it has a jazz pickup right here on the bridge. And so with that one, this has two volumes. So like this volume here would be used for this, for the neck pickup, and then this volume here would be used for the bridge pickup. And normally, like a lot of rock bands, like a lot of rock basses, usually they would have something like this, which this would be called the PJ setup, PJ pickup set. And they would normally just use both of these at the same time. Rattlehead says, I have two guitars, an Ibanez electric and a Maestro acoustic. You want a Flying V? Well, I would say if you have a Flying V, make sure you're prepared for them, because you really have to, the only way you can play them sitting down is in the classical position, where you have it in between your legs and, it's like on the left leg. But that's how I normally like to play sitting down anyway. I find that more comfortable because the neck angle is at the same place. So if you're playing in that classical position where the neck is, I don't know if I would call it a complete 45-degree angle, but something along those lines, that's the same angle that it would be resting at if you were standing up. So that's why I prefer to, because whenever I'm playing at home, I always have the strap, and that way, the neck is always at the same angle. That way you don't have to completely, your arms don't have to get used to a completely different position. Silvio says, what do you think is the most overrated rock band? I don't know. It's like, I don't really think of bands as overrated, because if you like them, you like them. Don't let anyone else tell you you hate them. Like, I don't really want to think of bands as overrated. I mean, to be fair, I get extremely triggered when when some of these young Gen Z whippersnappers try to say that the Beatles suck, and it's like, kid, you don't fucking understand. You just don't. But then again, that's that person's opinion if they want to think that. And it's really just a maturity thing of making sure you don't get upset whenever someone else's opinion doesn't align with yours. That is a huge thing. Oh, Cosmic Clam says the Beatles are awesome from my country too. Yes. Yes, I love England. I would love to be able to take a vacation to like London or Liverpool or Birmingham one day. And I know that Gibson actually opened up the Gibson Garage in England or in London recently, because I believe they had their first one in what was it? They had their first garage location where it's a store. You can buy guitars, you can try them all out, but the one from London is really cool. There's a YouTube video showing the grand opening, and like, how amazing was this guest list they had at the grand opening? They had Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, Brian May from Queen, and Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath. Like, it doesn't get more legendary than that when they're just there to celebrate the grand opening. However, I found it kind of funny to see Brian May there, because Brian May does not play Gibson guitars. He plays his own guitar that he designed, similar to what Eddie Van Halen did, the guitar that him and his dad built, called the Red Special. Liverpool is full of Beatles stuff, especially near the Abbey Road area. Yeah, I mean, I I love the Beatles. Welcome to the stream, vegetarian. Red Dwarf is the best British comedy series ever. I've never seen it, never heard of it. Silvio says that was a super wise answer, man. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is, before I used to get really upset and angry. Like, I remember, and this goes back to how I was in my 10-year-old mind, but not 10-year-old mind, but when I first started off on YouTube when I was 14, it always felt like I was, oh, I just lost my damn train of thought. But when I was on YouTube a long time ago, when I was 14, I just remember thinking, I wanted to be a hater for the haters, but really that's like, all that's doing is adding more fuel to the fire when I want to throw water on it, not make it worse. And that's the big difference. Tomb of Dracula says the best British comedy are Young Ones and Bottom. I've never heard of that one either. Hello, Kevin. How are you? There were two comedy shows I can recommend. The first, so if you're a Judd Apatow fan, um, man, I forgot what the other guy's name is. God damn it! What the hell was his name? I like it's. Hang on. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, Paul. There was a show that Judd Apatow was the creator of on Netflix, and it had Paul Rust and Gillian Jacobs in it, and I really enjoy that show. It was called Love, just Love on Netflix. That show is both great, is both, has some good comedy moments, also some good drama moments. I recommend that. Like if you are a fan of like Knocked Up or Super Bad or The 40-Year-Old Virgin, you should give Love a try. That show on Netflix, it's pretty great. I think it had 3 seasons. Another good comedy show was that I saw recently on Apple. This one was on, so that's on Netflix. There was one on Apple TV Plus, a show that Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne made. They were starring in. It was called Platonic. Like if you like the movie Neighbors that they were both in, you'll like this show. What the hell was it called? Yeah, that show Platonic. I believe it's like 8 episodes or 10 episodes, something like that. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome to the stream. He says, loved the McCartney video the other day. Thanks. Yeah, I enjoyed goodness, I should not be yawning at 5 p.m. Well, thanks for watching it, because last time, actually, let me double check on that right now. How many views does that video have? Where is it? Okay, it's at 310 views now. I mean, I spent 3 grueling days editing that video. So, I'd appreciate it if you guys checked it out. Cosmic Clam, I have not seen Trailer Park Boys. I've heard of it. Like, I remember seeing some of the thumbnails for it, but I've never seen it. Rusty Chan says, just kinda wanted to say, despite not watching your content much and all that, you are quite inspirational to me, and I hope you keep it up, man. Wish you the best. Hey, thanks so much, Rusty. I appreciate it. Benny Hill theme alone makes me want to watch that show. Yeah, it's funny because I only know Benny Hill because of that theme song. And it's funny because I used that theme song during an episode of Altoid Rebirth, which is that miniseries that me and Keanu made. Rattlehead says, "What's the best guitar for metal?" I mean, that's very subjective. But if you're asking me, I mean, I love Jackson guitars. Jackson and Charvel. They're the same company pretty much, but Jackson was like the original custom shop, and they were there for throughout the 80s when they Randy Rhoads from Ozzy Osbourne's band, he put them on the map really. And I know Robin Crosby from Rat played Jackson guitars. Phil Collen from Def Leppard. I mean, Mick Thompson from Slipknot. I don't think he's with Jackson anymore, but there's tons of people. Like Jackson is a really big brand. Their necks just are very thin and comfortable for me, and even their basses are pretty good. But as far as basses go, I just really enjoyed the Music Man. Or I've never played an actual American Music Man, but the Sterling by Music Man basses, like the Stingray, those are incredible for me. But for guitars, I mean, most metal oriented brands, I would say try those out. Like there's Schecter, there's ESP, there's Jackson. I would say those three are probably the most popular guitars for metal, but there's even like the the Epiphone Prophecy range. Those are used for guitars as well. Nikki Camo says, "Do you like Pearl Jam? If you do, what's your favorite song?" It's funny because I became a big Pearl Jam fan. I want to say in 2012, and I started and I saw them on the Lightning Bolt tour. Me and Keanu, we went to Dallas and got to see them, and I always remember that day because that was the same day that the PS4 came out in 2013. Yeah, Pearl Jam. I knew Pearl Jam was coming out with a new album, but I had no idea that it was actually out right now, so I gotta make sure I go listen to that. But my favorite Pearl Jam song is Black from the first album. Like Eddie's voice in that song gives me goosebumps, and I mean I still like the first album is my favorite one, but I also really enjoyed Backspacer and Lightning Bolt are great. I mean, Vitology is great. Uh, yeah, I love Pearl Jam. Chastity says, "If you had $600 right now, what guitar would you buy in that range?" If I had $600 for guitars, okay, we can split it between guitars and basses, but there was a guitar I tried out at Guitar Center that I really enjoyed. What was it called? It was the for that price. There was I'm gonna look for it right now. Uh Let me see here. Ah crap. Let me just look up an actual store. Because yeah, this is my wheelhouse. Just looking up for guitars and basses. Like this is my bread and butter right here. Uh let's go window shopping because Lord knows I don't have the money for this. All right. So Sweetwater is a very popular website, but I enjoy Sweetwater because they have great customer service, and So if I wanted to find it, because let's look up Jackson. Because I love how you can do it all by price range. But pretty much these, I would say I love the Warrior guitars, but I just wish that they were, they made one without a Floyd Rose in this price range, and I would get it. But okay, let's see here. I mean, yeah, like the Dinky is really nice and comfortable. But I think the best value one, it was the JS42. Let me try and find that. I don't know where it is. Or maybe they don't make that one anymore. Pretty much, I'm most comfortable with Strat style body shapes, like the Dinky. It's really cool. But yeah, Jackson is my favorite brand, but the one that I was shocked at the price was there's this one Ibanez guitar. I forget the name of it. I keep forgetting how big of a company Ibanez is, and it's hard to narrow it down because they always use. But yeah, this is probably the best bang for the buck that you can get. I was stunned. Hang on, let me move me out of the way. But this is a, like, I was shocked when I played this for $2.99. And yeah, the camera doesn't do it justice, but it's like a black sparkle. It's very subtle, but they have like a gradient one that goes from purple to blue, which is very cool. I mean, this is a roasted maple neck, which can be which is normally on much more expensive guitars. And what they do is they take the wood, they put it in an oven so the wood becomes stronger, so it doesn't warp. So if you're on a band on tour, you're not constantly having to adjust it. But yeah, it might look very simple and plain, but when you feel that, it's like, if this guitar, like the way this was around in 2007. Oh yeah, this is the one. Blue Metal Chameleon. This was the one that I was telling you about. Like, yeah, take a look at that. See that? Like, it goes from blue to purple. I love that. But yeah, this is the greatest. I mean, take a look at that. I mean, it's so popular. It's back ordered right now. Rang Dang says Ibanez is only good if made in the US or Japan. I disagree. I disagree. You have not played this one. Because I seriously thought, well, before I played it in person, I thought this was like $500. But as far as like the Les Paul shape, I know is iconic and classic, but the one that's more comfortable are the LTD Eclipses. So if we just want to take a look at these. Oh, now that's a cool color. I didn't even know they made it in that. Candy apple red satin. Because normally you see candy apple red only in gloss, but you never see like these metallic finishes in a satin color. That's really cool. I find these much more comfortable than a Les Paul because a Les Paul is very thick, whereas this is a bit thinner. But you still have the 2 volume knobs, so you can do that like toggle kill switch trick in there. But they do even make a cheaper one than this, which I have no idea where the hell it's at. Yeah, they're doing the 87 series now, and that actually this I think might be a replica of what, or not this exact turquoise color, but it's the same color like that, because I know that God, what's his name? I know it. A rhythm guitar player, original one, Izzy Stradlin. He played something like this, where it was like an ESP with a Telecaster body shape, but he played this on in the Sweet Child of Mine music video. Yeah, I've never played a 7. Oh, okay, actually, I have played a 7-string a few times, but it's similar to playing a 5-string bass. It's just I have a hard enough time with 4 strings. I just can't wrap my brain around it. But you know, it would be a cool thing to learn on, but I wouldn't. Man, I don't know why I'm so exhausted. But man, I lost my train of thought. Mookie says, how did you start getting involved in music? It's all because of Guitar Hero 3. That was my introduction to Slash and Guns N' Roses and Tom Morello and Rage Against the Machine. And that one is my favorite. It had so many great songs on it. Like, I know Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones was on that one. The Seeker by The Who was on it. That, like, I was already interested. Like, I enjoyed playing Guitar Hero, but it wasn't until 2007 when Guitar Hero 3 came out when I really said, I want to play guitar. And then after that, maybe a month later, I discovered Van Halen and watched the Eruption guitar solo, and that blew my mind. And the music bug got me, and I've been obsessed with guitars and now overall just music in general ever since. Yeah, Jonathan says, never played Guitar Hero, but seems to have got a whole generation into good music, so I'm grateful for that existing. Yeah, I love Jimmy Page, I love Jack White, but I strongly disagree with them when they say that it was bad for kids. But if that never existed, I never would have fallen in love with guitar playing. All right, I'm going to put me back on full screen now. All right. Welcome to the stream, Brock. Infinitus, is that how you say it? Infinitus says, hey dude, love your videos, thanks. Jonathan says, I think Jack White is overrated, but Jimmy Page is top tier. I mean, I will say though, Jack White was great in that documentary with him and Jimmy Page and the Edge from U2. They did that documentary called It Might Get Loud. I love that documentary. Like, seeing 3 different generations of guitar players being there together, it was fantastic. Rascals Gaming and Guitar Gear says, I've recently picked up my guitars after 20 years of not playing. Going to evaluate all the online learning tools and see what sticks. Well, hey, Rascals, there is a YouTube channel that I want to recommend to you. Let me lower this down. It was... let's see, Zombie Guitar. There's this YouTube channel. Yeah. Come on, let me click on it. This guy, Brian Kelly, he is great. I highly recommend him. He has amazing lessons. And the other one that's really good too is crap. The other guy that's good that this guy gets. So Brian Kelly is great, but then there's this other guy that I've seen who's also great. His channel's called Guitar Mastery. I know that the guy's name is Klaus Levin. I think he's from Denmark, but this guy is incredible as well. So yeah, these are two channels that I recommend. And another guy that's also great is Paul Davids. Like, I don't know if you know him, but if you're looking up like guitar lessons, Paul Davids. This guy is just incredible. This is his channel. Because now he is like the level I aspire to be, where like all his videos have more than 100,000 views, and then some of them get like 1 million views. But if you notice, like, he does not upload a lot. Like, he does it like maybe twice a month, it looks like, but he's still able to get tons and tons and tons of views. Like, yeah, I mean, that's his slogan, keeping the guitar fresh and alive. Yeah, his channel is fantastic. And yeah, Rascal, I recommend those channels. Oh yeah, there's also trials. Yeah, there's like Fender Play, there's Musician, there's Rocksmith. I've haven't tried any of those ones, but I just learned from watching YouTube videos. Escape, I am doing great today. Ultimate Guitar, I mean, yeah, they're good for learning tabs, but the one guy who's really inspiring me to try to learn songs by ear, his name's Ola England. He's very popular for within people who play like metal guitar, but it blows my mind. He has some videos where he's able to just listen to songs and then right away he's like immediately playing them. Because the one thing is, like, I have my dad's acoustic guitar. I just don't like taking it out because really I just don't want to risk anything happening to it, because he's had that since 2000, or I've had that. I got because he got that in 2008, and it's not good quality, but you know, I keep it around for sentimental reasons, but I don't like having that being like the only guitar I have access to physically. So until I'm able to get my guitar back, but really, I think as far as like purchases go, the most important thing I would need to get would be a DI box, like an amp simulator. I've found one that seems to get pretty good views. It was the, let's see, Donner. It's a guitar music brand. Let's see, Amazon. Let's see here. Donner bass pedal. I will see it. I'll know it when I see it, but I'll try to pull it up for you guys here when I see it. Oh, sorry, not Donner. It was Vailton. That's the name of it. Um, but yeah, it's this thing, which, yeah, I'm not going to. Uh-oh. It's this thing right here. Because you see, what you would do with that is you would plug your bass at the one end here, and then this XLR out. You take this and plug it, and that goes into the to the main mixer for the venue. So instead of having to bring an amp with you, you would just you could just use this. And you could also use it just for effects because it's got a compressor, it's like an envelope filter, and then it has like a bass amp simulator, an octave, and pretty much the most common effects used in a bass. You would get this all right here. Ugh. Jonathan says, I don't even know how to plug my guitar into the computer. Well, today is your lucky day because I'm about to show you. What you would need is, oh, and by the way, do not get this one because this one is bad because it's made out of plastic and you want to get something decent like the Focusrite Scarlett. But this is an audio interface. So, you know, that's the USB to your computer. And then you would use, so this would be like your sound card for your computer. And you would use this. So you've got like the red and white cables, stereo cables for speakers here that you could plug in. And then, you know, over here you've got your inputs for your microphone and your guitar or a bass. And then here would be your headphones. And yeah, this is how you would do it. And then you would have plugins that you would run with a DAW, with a digital audio workstation. Like you can use Reaper for free. But yeah, I recommend the Focusrite Scarlett. That appears to be like the gold standard for USB interfaces. Sam says, hey, Jaron, do you like Weezer? Yeah, I like Weezer a lot. Once again, like what we were talking about earlier, Rock Band got me into knowing who Weezer are. Yep. I mean, I like the first album, but they did like 4 separate albums or like 4 EPs for each season. They did that, I think, last year. So Weezer has an album called, you know, one for winter, spring, summer, and fall. You have the Xenix 1202. I'm not familiar with it, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if that's a good one or not. But the one that keeps getting recommended to me the most is called the Scarlett by. Oh, that's why I'm having trouble. The cable from my headphones got stuck on the old chair. There we go. Rattlehead says, do you and your band have any other songs in the works for the channel? Yes, I do. I've got we're playing our first show on April 13th, so hopefully I can get some people to subscribe. I mean, not sorry. I'm hoping that I can get some people to watch or to come over to that show. But yeah, I'm hoping to film that or record at least one song from that and put that on YouTube. Because I've been wanting to show my band on the channel. It just doesn't seem to get a ton of... it's just, you know, we're waiting until we're able to get on there. Until we have, like, proper live footage of us. Guyago says, hello, first time watching you live. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Devin. Vegetarian says, I had an idea for a song I was going to call Pharma Heaven, then found out there's already a song called that. Yeah. Yeah, it's the problem with titles stuff, is like you think nobody else has it, but yeah. Rattlehead says, I would form a band, but none of my friends play anything. Yeah, I mean, I had to go find the band that I'm in now, because I met the singer because his band was playing at, they had that band Excessive Pleasure, and they were playing at a place, at an open mic that I was also at, and then their guitar player was so bad. You can tell he wasn't dedicated, he wouldn't practice, his guitar was fucking out of tune, and to make things worse, the strap fell off his guitar, and his guitar almost fell to the ground. It's like, come on, man. He like, when I saw that, I was cringing so bad on the inside. It's like, those songs, it sounds like I could play them. It's like, and then it's so funny because then they saw me, and then they asked me if I wanted to jam with them, and they fired that guy and brought me in. That's how I ended up being in that band with Anthony, that first band, Excessive Pleasure. Rascal says, gotta get back to work, saw you pop up on my feed and wanted to check out the stream. We'll check out your channel later tonight. Oh, thanks, and I appreciate it. Devin, I made a sequel to that video. You can watch that. It's like the second most viewed video on my channel. If you want to know how I feel about that subject, but I'm just not going to bring it up here. Sky says, R.I.P. Eddie Van Halen. Yes, absolutely. Eddie Van Halen is the GOAT. That's just my opinion. I love Eddie Van Halen. He is the reason why I play guitar. I was so devastated when he died. But I'm really, I don't know if you've ever heard Wolfgang, his son's band called Mammoth. It's called Mammoth WVH. Please listen to them. So for so many years, Eddie would say, my son's the most, Wolfgang's the most talented one in the family. And people would say, nah, you're just saying that because it's your son. And said, no, I'm serious. They said, just wait until the world hears my son's music. And now it's out. And yeah, it is fantastic. Like, he's a lot like Lenny Kravitz or Prince or Paul McCartney, where he plays all the instruments on his album. He's doing everything. Like, he is the only guy in the studio. Like, he writes all the songs, plays every instrument. So, you know, you hear him guitar, bass, drums, and then he's also the lead singer, and he also he's the co-producer as well. Life would trip. I'm not talking about that subject here. That's already been talked about to death. I don't want that one video. I don't want that one video to define who I am, because that's not me. Excalibur, things are going good today. John says, continue to post videos. I've just noticed you've been monetized. You'll be able to earn income and have a purpose to do YouTube. I mean, yeah, that's been, well, being able to have YouTube be my full-time job is what I've always wanted since I was 14, when I started my old channel that got deleted. Wait, Goyaga, what's your message? I didn't see it. See, it's so funny. Like, this one live stream already has more views than the Paul McCartney video I worked so hard on. Okay, it's at 303 views now. All right. Cosmic Clam says some people pull more numbers as a streamer than a content creator. Yeah, Jonathan says it's typical of YouTube that my McCartney video didn't do well because it was a good watch. Yeah, it's just unfortunately because of my one most watched video that will not be named out loud, YouTube seems to want to put me in a box that only videos of me talking about that subject is what brings in the views. And it's tough to break out of that, because it's like, that Paul McCartney video is what I want all the people to flock to, not that stuff. But whatever. You just roll with the punches. Life Would Trip says, what is your favorite song from the 80s? Shit, that's like asking a parent what their favorite child is. Just the whole decade where so much of what I grew up with listening to is, oh, wow. Shit. I mean, if I just had to pick one great song right now, I'll say Panama by Van Halen, because that's the very first Van Halen song I ever heard. Jonathan says 80s is the worst decade. I will respectfully disagree with you. Well, yeah, I mean, Chastity says the interaction is key and it's part of what sets me apart from a lot of other streamers, but this is not the only type of live stream that I want to do. I mean, when I get my PS5 back from the pawn shop and when I get my guitars back from the pawn shop, I want to be able to do stuff where, you know, I'm gaming and then I'm also like learning a song, or at least learning the first part of a song live on stream. That sounds like a very fun idea, but unfortunately people don't come for that. But that's what I want, so I got to keep going through doing that stuff as well. Because the only way to let the algorithm start watching all of that stuff just as much as they're watching these simpler, just chatting streams, I just have to get all that equipment back, and I'll be able to start doing it. It's funny to have mid to late 2000 songs are your vibe. It's so funny that people consider that, well, it is a decade now, but it's so funny because that a lot of that stuff still feels current to me. Because I remember, like, anyone playing songs from the 2000s, it's like, yeah, I remember exactly when that was brand new. Spaghetti and Beans is asking, are you into Game of Thrones? I've only seen one episode of Game of Thrones, and it was the Red Wedding episode, and I had no idea what the hell was going on, but all I remember was my friend Keanu was there with me, and he was there just completely shocked, and I didn't know why he was so shocked, because I've forgotten about it, but people tell me that the ending is horrible. And I don't want to go through 8 seasons just to be let down, so I don't know if it's even worth the time investment at this point. Jonathan says, my McCartney obsession has been going on for a couple of months now. It's unhealthy. I mean, I was like that with Paramore. Like, when I first started listening to... Well, first I listened to Hayley Williams. Before I listened to Paramore, like, I heard her, and I loved her 2 solo albums. Well, she only had that one at the time. By the way, Flowers for Vases by Hayley Williams, you have to listen to that, guys. That was my favorite album of 2020. It was so good. And it's very different. Like, if you're used to Paramore, you should give Hayley's solo albums a shot. But yeah, I've been listening to Paul a lot, which is why I've been listening to that, why I made that video. Vegetarian says, I've been watching this crime show called Animal Kingdom. It's really good. I remember when seeing trailers for that show in the movie theater, because I know that show is on TNT. I've never seen it, but I know of it. Ah, yeah. Jonathan says Every Night is my favorite. I love Every Night. I want to be able to make my to learn how to properly use mixed voice and falsetto. So eventually, when I cover that song, I can do it justice, because that song is. This seems like it would be a good entry point into playing and singing, into playing guitar and singing at the same time, because that's just simple chords. It's chord strumming, and there's not like any like precise guitar riffs going on in that song. But yeah, I love Every Night. That's from the first Paul McCartney, from his very first solo album, where he did everything by himself, all the instruments. All right, there's some stuff that I missed. John says, would you shave your head for $500? No. Nope. I'm a rock and roll guitar player and bass player. I need to have long hair, because I already cut it once in 2017, then started regrowing it, and then I cut it again for that stupid Kroger job interview I didn't even want anyway. and I didn't even get the job, so that haircut was all for nothing. But the one, because I already shaved my head in April of 2020 during the pandemic, and man, I will tell you, it ruined my hair texture because my hair used to be a lot thicker. Oh, vegetarian sent in a super chat for $6 Canadian. He says a cool 80s song is "Living in a Box." Living in a Box. Who's the artist for that? I've never heard of that. Because anyway, yeah, I shaved my head back in April of 2020, and the thing that sucks about that is when my hair grew back, it was never the same. Like my hair, because I guess you would say my hair texture before shaving my head would be considered fine hair, but ever since I shaved my head and my hair came back, it's now under the very fine category texture, which you know is disheartening. And I know that there's some guys that say you should try taking products, but like I went to the store and that minoxidil stuff from Hims or from Rogaine, that's only for like that's only if you're balding, like right here, like in the back of your head. It's only for, and I don't understand why I had my headphones on that entire time, but yeah, it's for when you're balding. And my hair texture itself, like each like actual individual hair, like I don't know if my camera can even pick that up, but like each individual hair got thinner. Or as if I show you a photo of me from 2017, you'll be able to understand what I mean. Is my hair in 2017, which, you know, at the time I didn't think much of it, but now I realized that was like LeBron in Miami. It was like its absolute, my hair was at its absolute peak at that time. I'm pretty sure I have a photo of it. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got it right here. So this was before I cut it the first time. Let me see here. Oh wow, 41 viewers. Welcome everybody. That's brand new to the stream. But this was my hair in 2017, the day when I got my first haircut. Like after growing it for like this, like I had no haircuts like from 2017. Oh no, sorry, I didn't get a haircut from 2012. Like I just had long hair like this from 2012 until 2017. And then I shaved my head in April of 2020, and yeah, because it's like my hair would still be considered thin at this point. But and yeah, by the way, if you can see, I've got white hair. Like I'm aging my hair is aging prematurely, and that used to really upset me because you can see some white hair strands like right around here. Why did I cut it? Because I just wanted to try it out at that time. But I ended up like, because this is my biggest regret, was I shaved my head in April of 2020 to try it out, because I thought if there was going to be any time I'm going to do it, it's when I was not going out in public a lot. But yeah, let me see here. Oh yeah, hang on. So this was after, okay, but right here, let's see. So this was, no, that wasn't it. It was, Like, I'm not even joking, guys. Like, I looked like Elmer Fudd. Like, legitimately, when I shaved my head, looking at this photo now, I looked like Elmer Fudd. And, like, there's so many guys that say, oh, you need to shave your head. You need to shave. Like, all those jock bro motherfuckers in that video that has 800,000 views. You need to shave your head. You need to shave your head. This is why I don't do it. Take a look. Take a gander. Behold. Take a look, guys. That was me in April of 2020 when I shaved my head. So this was, I think it's because the glasses did not fit being having a shaved head at that time. So yeah, exactly, like an egg, like fucking like an egg. I mean, it's funny because I did have a beard and then I just shaved it to like get rid of all, like, to, I guess, start evenly. But it's so funny, country boy, because he says you should have kept the beard. Kind of looks like an early human prototype. Exactly. That's a good one. Ugh. And then this was like a couple of weeks later when my hair was coming back. Like, this was like, I think maybe a month or like 3 weeks after I shaved my, or no, not 3 weeks. This was probably like 1 month later. So yeah, this was me like, I think 1 month or 2 months after that. So this was me. It's so funny because I thought those glasses were great back then, but looking at it now, it's like, yeah, I didn't. But it's funny because those were the glasses that I wore, when I took a trip to Austin. And that's when, but now it's like my hair texture is what you see today. Because I've noticed, because I'm guessing maybe it was still a bit like, had the same thickness it had, but I really think it was becoming homeless and the stress of dealing with that and living in hotels. I really think that is what made my hair, truly, I'm pretty sure that is what made my hair get to this point where it's like, come on, maybe I can show you guys in the camera a little bit, but it's like you can see like each hair, this would be considered like very, very fine. Whereas before, in those previous photos I showed you, my hair texture was considered fine. Now it's at the very fine stage. Yeah. But I want to see a dermatologist because I've seen those commercials for Hims, or Keeps. I see that getting sponsored a lot on different podcasts, and I want to try it, but I don't know. But I think that might only be for people who are actually balding with bald spots, because I don't know if that would do anything for me. But then, of course, I have to talk to a doctor about that. But I can't do that yet because I have to go see a primary care doctor first, get the refill for my fucking high blood pressure, then we can go see a dermatologist. Well, actually, no. I need to see a dentist first because, God, like, dentist in vision insurance is rough. I've never had it. Yeah, like, I wouldn't want to use minoxidil because, like, even on the box, like on the box of Rogaine or the Hims minoxidil, it says only use it like in the vertex, which is like, the back, like pretty much. And And by the way, I very highly doubt that Kevin Durant will ever see this, but it's like, you know, that spot, which, by the way, Kevin Durant, you are a legend. You are one of my favorite basketball players. So if you see this, don't take offense to this. But it's like they said that minoxidil would be only used like in that vertex, like the same spot where Kevin Durant is balding, like, or where John Cena, he's balding in that same spot too in the back. And that's also where Bill Burr was balding, in that area, like this area right here. And they said that is what minoxidil is for right here, which I don't know. But I've been taking biotin vitamins to help with that. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been spending the last most of, you know, the tail end of 2022 and most of 2023 learning to take it easy, and it's all thanks for me for meditation. Oak is back. I haven't seen you here in the chat room for a long time. Christian Slater had to get a transplant. Okay. A lot of celebrities are on it. Yeah. I know that that Elon Musk got a hair transplant, and because I remember seeing a photo of him where I think it was him in like 2005 when he was like, his hairline was receding at the front, and now he has a full normal head of hair. Yeah, Jonathan, I would suggest stop worrying about your hair. If your barber says to chill, I recommend just chilling out with that, because honestly, if you're thinking about it, it's going to make you more stressed, and then it would manifest itself in real life. So I just recommend don't think about it, man. Great. I never should have mentioned Elon's name, because I was just going to use that as a guy that I remember seeing that got a transplant. But never should have brought up his fucking name because of comments that Jonathan just mentioned, because that's going to open a giant can of worms. So I'm going to shut that lid right now. Velocity says thoughts on the Gibson Explorer. So the Gibson Explorer is the guitar made famous, and I'm sure there's other guys that played it before him, but when I think of the Explorer, I immediately think of James Hetfield from Metallica. And the thing is, I respect the Explorer, but I can't get comfortable with it. Because I noticed there's something with certain guitars, the way they're made, where it feels like your hand is shifted over to the left, whereas like on a Les Paul or a Strat or those types of body shapes, you feel like your hand is in the middle of the body, but on the Explorer or the Firebird or on the bass, the Thunderbird, it feels like, based off of where the bridge is on the body, it feels like you're off center. So you're constantly having to make your hand lean forward. And I could never get comfortable with it. Like, I'm way more comfortable with a Flying V than I am with than I am with an Explorer. Kit, what does that say? Coryllis Hard Rocker says the Gibson RD is the... I have always wanted a Gibson RD bass because of Chris Novoselic from Nirvana. Like, I really, if there's any request I would make to Gibson, I would want them to reissue the Ripper bass and the RD bass, because particularly make an Epiphone version so that, you know, actual humans that are not rich could afford it. But like, even if they made a Gibson, because the Gibson Ripper is one of the most unique basses. Like, Chris Novoselic played it, Gene Simmons played it, Mike Dirnt from Green Day plays it. Like, those types of pickups are so unique And fun fact, those pickups in that Ripper bass were designed by Bill Lawrence, who was also the who also made one of the humbucker pickups that Dimebag Darrell loved to use in the neck position on his guitar, on his Dean guitars. I mean, because that's the thing is, I need work done on my teeth because I'm gonna share something that some people may relate to, may not relate to, but I there was a period of time when I was homeless, like when I was living in hotels, when I was so fucking depressed. I just did not care. I stopped caring about brushing my teeth. Like there was like a strong period, honestly, like where I would brush my teeth only once every 3 days or something like that because I did not give a fuck. I That's when you know it's a problem when it gets to that point. So now I've paid the price for it because now like I've got stage 1 gingivitis, and I have last time I got a cleaning done, and I had a root canal done like when I was 13, and the crown, I didn't have a crown, like the crown went missing, like it fell off and went missing years ago, and then that tooth just came off, and that was painful, and I had to get that removed. But I'm missing one tooth, like up here on the sides. I believe that's called one of your molars, but I'm just glad that it's back there and that you can't see and not like in the front. Yeah, I don't understand why you guys are talking about plastic surgery. That I hate seeing when people get that done because really, like, when was the last time you saw somebody get plastic surgery and it actually made them look better? Uh, like perfect example is Simon Cowell and Madonna. Like Simon Cowell looks weird now, and Madonna just needs to start learning how to respect aging. Because seriously, it's like she got plastic surgery. Simon Cowell got plastic surgery, and when I see the photos, it's like, oh God, what the hell? But I think it's because people only look at the extremes. Maybe if there was something where it's like really small and minimal and they get it done, maybe that could help. But it's just, I'll just tell you one thing. Uh, I'm never gonna do that shit. Because yeah, I mean, it's like I'm getting like because that white hair, like I still have that, and I'm actually getting more. Like there's some in the middle of my head here, and there's some in the corner here, and I'm starting to get some in the back. Like I've noticed when I see in the mirror sometimes, like on the like this end, I can see it. Like it's kind of hard to see on camera, but that's the thing. It's like I'm not gonna be one of these guys that dyes their hair. If like let's just say by the time I'm 35, I start getting gray hair, like, and it starts becoming really visible. It's like I look at that as a badge of honor. Like I went through some shit and I've earned the wisdom I've earned in order to get the gray hair that I have. Whenever it does, if it does decide to show up, like I guess prematurely or something like that. Oh wow, it's already 6 o'clock. Holy crap! Yeah, I'm gonna have to get going pretty soon. Like maybe I could stay in chat for maybe 10 more minutes. Oh yeah, Cosmic Clam. Yeah, The Weeknd mocked it in a music video. Yeah, I remember like there was one where I think it's Dawn FM, when on the album cover, like it showed what he would look like with if he was old. Velocity says, have you thought about getting a 7 string? No, not really. I would just want to get guitars, not the same exact ones I had before, but my goal would be, if money was no object, I would want to have a Music Man Stingray bass. That's the bass that Flea used, and I've played like the cheaper, like the Sterling uh, brand Stingrays, and those feel great. But yeah, I would want to get. But actually, no, scratch that. If money was no object, Kiesel is where I would go. Because the brand Kiesel has a very special place in my heart, because my mom got me a car back when their name was Carvin. She got me a Carvin V220. And the thing I like about Kiesel is they're a custom shop without the custom shop price, because all their guitars are individually built to order. And so like you order it and then they build it, and I think they ship it to you in like 2 months or 3 months. And like they're custom, but I remember, sign of the times, that I remember the guitar I had, like that green, radiation green, Carvin V220, which is still one of my favorite guitars I ever had. It killed me that I sold it. But I had that when I got that when I was 16, and then had to fucking sell it in 2020. But that one, uh, like I would love to have another V220 eventually. I would love to have one of those, and probably get a bass from Kiesel. Like their demos make me feel like I'm Homer Simpson at a candy store. Like my mouth waters when I look at those Kiesel instruments. Like they look so cool. Like the paint jobs they can do are really cool and special. And they may also make headless guitars too now. Oh, Chastity gave a $10 super chat. Let's see. Please check. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at it. And of course, if I don't respond right away, it's because I've got shit going on with Uber, and then, still planning out my next video. But thank you for the $10. I appreciate it. Man, it's funny because it's hard to see what your name is. Kid. There we go. Kirillis says, I'm a comparison fanboy. I think that's like the brand which I don't know. I know who they are. I've heard of them, but I know that one of the guitar players from Killswitch Engage plays Comparison. Jonathan says, how would you react if someone just dropped $100,000 in a super chat? I would probably cry like a newborn baby. Which I don't even know if that's even a thing. Like I've never even heard. Like I've heard of people getting like $1,000 in super chat, but I've never heard of like of someone like. Has that ever happened before with super chats, or on? Has it happened with on Twitch? Like, has anyone ever actually sent or donated like 100,000 all at once like that? Because that's pretty insane. Someone got 3,000. Oh wow. Let me see here. Did I beat G and like one of those optional bosses? I think I did one time. And Ragnarok, I probably did. that because I remember it took me I played it for 1 hour, but I remember going back to it again, and then I eventually got it. But yeah, those like challenge bosses, those optional ones, those are, I don't enjoy going through those. I will say. I mean, hell, 3,000 is like I wouldn't have to worry for like that would cover a month of my bills if someone just dropped in a $3,000 super chat. Anyway, I have to go to the bathroom. Actually, oh yeah, at 6:09, I gotta start driving. Yeah. Um. Anyways, I've got to go. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.